I'm Steve Dale for the American College of Veterinary Internal Medicine. Dr. Brian Skansen is a veterinary cardiologist, and we're going to talk about pacemakers for dogs and cats. Ohio State University College of Veterinary Medicine.
Correct.
You're an assistant professor there. You know, we've heard about pacemakers. I mean, we might have even known someone who has a pacemaker, but let's explain what that is. It's certainly something that, for a long time, people get pacemakers, which are?
Absolutely. So a pacemaker in a dog, much the same as a person, and basically it's electronical equipment that's implanted in the body that controls the heart rate. So if your dog or you or any other animal has an inappropriately slow heart rate, the pacemaker can regain normal heart rate and alleviate any signs the animal may be showing.
Okay, and for people, pacemakers last about how long?
They can last anywhere from 10 to 15 years in people, and comparably in dogs. Thankfully, with the dog's lifespan being much smarter than people, they can usually last their whole life.
Yeah, which is the great thing. Now, under what circumstances might a dog or a cat need a pacemaker?
Usually they're older animals. What happens is the heart's normal electrical activity starts to fail later in life in a small number of dogs or cats. When that happens, they'll show signs of weakness, become more tired, or even start fainting and collapsing. And if those signs are seen, then they usually are seen by a veterinarian, diagnosed as a problem with an EKG, with an inappropriately slow heart rate, and then they come to see me for a pacemaker.
They come to see a veterinary cardiologist.
Exactly.
Now, they don't, I suspect, make pacemakers for dogs and cats. So
No.
how does that work?
Yeah, they don't. It used to be we had limited to no options, but probably 10 to 15 years ago, the companies that manufacture pacemakers for people were very generous and started donating some of these devices to veterinary medicine, to the cardiology group in veterinary medicine. And these are pacemakers that haven't been put into people at all, but they were either demo models or they've outlived their shelf life to put into a person, but they still have plenty of battery life to be used in an animal, a dog or a cat. So they're basically new equipment, they're sterile, and they work beautifully for the animals.
Yeah, that's my next question. Has this been successful?
Incredibly. We pace at Ohio State probably 20 or so dogs a year. Very occasionally we'll pace a horse, and then cats as well. We've also put pacemakers in. And the nice thing is we take an animal that was very weak, very tired, even collapsing multiple times a day. After the procedure, they go home. They're back to being themselves. Most times the clients call me and say he's like a puppy again. So they do well for a very long time, usually end up passing away for some reason other than their heart condition.
So it's kind of like a fountain of youth of sorts.
Yes.
Is the surgery, I mean, you do have an animal with a heart that isn't quite working right. Is the surgery considered a serious surgery?
It absolutely is. The biggest concern is anesthetizing a patient like that. As you said, their heart isn't working appropriately, and until we have the pacemaker in, it's a little tenuous to see how their heart's going to behave with the anesthetics. But we have excellent anesthesiologists in veterinary medicine as well, and so we combine with them to make it as safe a procedure as possible. It works well.
It's amazing what specialty medicine can now do for our dogs and cats. And you mentioned horses also for this, because just some number of years ago, this wasn't a realistic thing to do. But it's a team effort, sort of, kind of here, because you also mentioned the anesthesiologist. Well, there's a specialty for that too, the veterinary anesthesiologist. And this is an instance, it's not just another spay-neuter. This is an instance of you might want someone there who really, that's all they do.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a team effort, as you said. It's a combination of skills. We bring knowledge of the heart and the technical ability to place the pacemaker. The anesthesiologists have skills in making it as safe a procedure and as pain-free a procedure as possible for the animal.
Now, for people, when they have the same procedure done, pretty much the same procedure done, which is amazing. So when people have the same thing done, usually it follows with rehab. Same for our pets?
Very much the same. Usually they feel so much better, and it's quite a minimally invasive procedure, that they're only in the hospital for a day or two afterwards. They're able to go home. We like to keep them calm for a little bit as they recuperate, but within a week or so they're back to themselves.
Dr. Skansen, thank you very much. You can learn more at acvim.org. pacemakers.org.